If you watch this channel for long enough, you'll start to get a sense for my personal tastes when it comes to fuzz pedals. I like fuzz pedals that sound as nasty and broken and torn speaker, Velcro ripping, primitive, primordial, caveman screaming at a triceratops, brutal fuzz. That's what I like. I want to completely destroy my guitar signal and turn it into the most obnoxious sound you've ever heard. And I'm hoping and praying that what I find in this box makes those fuzzy dreams come true. You already know from the title on the thumbnail that inside this box there is a RUSH PEP BOX 2. I've been talking to Lucy from RUSH Amps, I think since last year by now, talking about covering this when she's ready to launch them. And the time has come. And I'm so excited to finally get a chance to hear this thing, to finally get to play through it. Oh, oh, Lucy, you're spoiling us. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got a bunch of treats in here. And this is one of my favorite things. I'm surprised I couldn't smell it through the cardboard. I usually only treat myself to one of these once a year at Christmas time. And there's 2 in here. I'm probably supposed to share with Steve. I'll make sure Steve gets his cut of what's coming out of this box right now. Oh my gosh. We got Twix. European chocolates, by the way, their chocolate is different. Hershey's ruined American chocolate recipes for a really long time. There's a whole history behind that. It's bitter. There's like an acidic quality to American chocolate. There's a lot of really good chocolate in America, but if you're buying Hershey's bars and Milky Ways and Twix and things like that, they have the American style chocolate, which is different. It is different. Cadbury Twirls, those are amazing. I had those one time. Cadbury Fudge, I don't think I've ever had these. Mars bars, yeah. And shortbread fingers. We're gonna have to do some 60 cycle yums on the podcast next time we record. Oh, ridiculous. And then here we go. Thank you, Lucy. Oh, spoiling us. What's this? Got a little scroll here. Oh, it's a certificate of authenticity for the RUSH PEP BOX 2.0. I should frame that. Here we go. There it is. Oh, it feels substantial. Not like crazy heavy, but it's this, vintage style bent steel wedge case. By the way, something that I think is just such a cool detail of these pedals is that this top plate here with all the branding and the markings and stuff like that, it is a piece of like 5 or 6 ply plastic that is engraved, and it's hand engraved. Well, it's not like freehand engraved, but Lucy is using the same vintage engraving tracing machine that her dad used in the 60s to build the PEP box. And she sent me video of it, and it's just this amazing mojo-filled piece of kit. And I know she's working hard to keep it maintained and keep it operating. But that level of like vintage authenticity, that mojo, that vibe, that that someone is using this antique machinery to continue to manufacture these pedals is amazing. What do we have here? No. As I'm sitting here ranting about it, look what she sent. Oh my gosh. Lucy, you're spoiling me. This is ridiculous. She even sent one for Steve. Of course it's going to go with his chocolate orange here. There we go. That chocolate orange is for Steve. I'm going to have to put these on my office door or something. Thank you. Oh, this is... what a treat. What a treat, guys. So we've got the manual here. I'll read the opening blurb and then we'll plug it in and see what it sounds like. Thank you for buying the RUSH PEP Box 2.0. My father, Pepe Rush, built the original RUSH PEP Box in 1965, one of the first wave of guitar effects pedals used by several leading groups of the time, including the Beatles, who used one at Abbey Road during the recording of Revolver, the Shadows, love the Shadows, the Animals, and others. What a list of bands. You're gonna name 3 bands and it's gonna be the Beatles, the Shadows, and the Animals. All right. A lot has happened in the guitar effects pedal scene over the years, with pedal boards becoming a popular part of it. I wanted to make the RUSH PEP Box with this unique sound compatible with the modern day. So I have built the RUSH PEP Box 2.0. So if you look at photos of an original RUSH PEP Box, they have the output cable permanently hardwired into it, coming out the sides. One of those pedals that just came ready to plug into the amp. No extra cable needed because the extra cable was built into it. Also, it had the knobs up here, and it might have been side jacks. I can't remember. But anyways, this case is smaller than the original, obviously, because original fuzzes are huge. You've got the knobs up top, which is more modern and more convenient, obviously. You got your jacks back here, and you have a 9-volt power supply, and you're not running a dedicated cable out of here. So you've got a bunch of modern features, but you've got vintage guts and vintage aesthetics and vintage build style and vintage handmade mojo and all that. Let's plug it in. I want to hear it. I'm going to start off with my Epiphone 150th anniversary Crestwood. I'll have a link in the description if you want to learn more about that. And of course, I'm going to run into the 2 Princetons rig. All right, here is a quick taste of my pickups. Here is the bridge pickup and the neck pickup. Just so you know what the guitar sounds like before we completely destroy it with our first hit of pep. Gotta have the volume knob up. There's nothing passing through because the pep is all the way down. There it is. I like it already. It's got that real loose grit to it. I'm gonna have some fun today. There's a little bit of a hump right there. Right in between 6 and 7. Sometimes you can exploit that for like picking dynamics and stuff like that. Start with some light picking. Traveling up the knob here. love it when like you do a bend, one string against another, and it's like, where it freaks out like that and starts to sputter out and cut into the signal. That's how I like to have fun. Yeah! That's like, this is the definition of what I was talking about at the start of the video. This nasty, primitive, primordial, caveman sort of sound. Yes. Try it on the bridge pickup now. There's not much left at that setting, is there? I think that's the bottom of it. Yep, nothing left. Here's a question I have to try to juice up my analytics by getting you guys to comment in the comment section. What was your first introduction to fuzz? What sound did you hear? What song did you hear? What album did you listen to that made you go, I think I need a fuzz pedal? Or what was that? What is that sound? I need to know what that sound is. I think for a lot of people, you know, Cream or Hendrix or even the Beatles, so on and so on, are their first exposure to fuzz. But for me, this is the song that got me salivating, that set me out on a search, on a fuzz journey that I'm still on to this very day. Here we go. Let's see if I can play it. Let's try it all the way up. Now on the neck pickup. What pedal Smash Mouth used on that influential song that crafted the tonal ear of my generation. But on the neck pickup, somewhere between that 6.5 to maxed out 10 setting, I feel like I'm living it. I'm living that Smash Mouth life. I feel like I might as well be walking on the sun, is what I'm saying. All right, since this is such a simple pedal, there's really only one knob to interact with. I'm gonna try throwing a few different guitars at it. Next up is a long guitar with less strings than a normal guitar. I'm talking about a bass. I'm gonna play bass through this pedal. A Dan Electro Longhorn here. Quick disclaimer, I am not a bassist. I'm a guitar boy who happens to own a bass guitar, and sometimes I fiddle around with it and I have fun with it, and I've grown to have a deep appreciation for the bassists out there. what they bring to songs, what they bring to music is incredible. And I can't yet pretend to have the authority to call myself a bassist. So that's where I'm at. But anyways, I'm gonna try to have some fun with this thing. See what I mean? I play it like a guitar. Here we go. What's it gonna sound like? Oh, I like that Velcro on the low. It croaks like a frog. I like that a lot. I need to do a video. I keep planning on it. I want to do a video where it's all bass plus fuzz. I just want to explore all my fuzz pedals with bass. Tried to get experimental and worked myself into a corner, didn't I? I'm gonna try hitting it with some single coils, and I'm very curious to hear what happens when I hit it with the strangle switch on my Jaguar here. So that's both pickups together. Here is the bridge pickup. We're gonna get pretty low output situation from this guitar. So that was the neck pickup. Go back to both on to see what happens here. Just the bridge. And now just the neck. the bridge with that strangle switch. Just so you can hear the difference clean. Here it is without the strangle. Here it is with. It's not a huge difference right now, but I have a feeling it's going to make a huge difference with the fuzz. Just kind of suck some of the lows and mids out. That was it off. Here it is on. All right, I turned it off, turning the Pepbox back on. And now the strangle switch is going on. Yeah, that's what I was suspecting. It really reacts to whatever guitar you're throwing at it, whatever pickup style you're throwing at it. Singles, humbuckers, if you got a guitar that's going out of phase or something like that, or a strangle switch, it's gonna affect the sound of this fuzz box. Oh, that is just so nasty. Just telephone signal thing. What does it sound like on the rhythm circuit? Sounds pretty good. It seems like it likes being hit with low signals with a lot of low end in it. I'm gonna grab the Yamaha Revstar. I'm grabbing this guitar because it's actually more than meets the eye. There is a transformer hidden inside and connected to this push-pull pot that gives you this huge low end boost. I actually sold off my Les Paul because I realized the low end I was getting from this was very similar to that thick, girthy low end you get from a Les Paul. And I was like, I like playing this thing better. So I'm gonna keep this and get rid of the Les Paul. So anyways, I'll show that off clean really quick and then we'll see how the Pepbox responds to it. Am I in tune? Always gotta check to make sure I'm in tune because I'm a professional. I guess I am a professional, but most days it doesn't feel like it. Anyways, here is the sound of the bridge pickup with the transformer off. Here it is with the transformer on. Big boost, that low end and the low mids. Let's see what happens when I run it through the Pepbox. I've got the transformer off right now, and then I'll turn it on after I play a little bit. Here we go, transformer time. Will there be a difference? It might be so completely destroyed by the fuzz that it won't matter. Not a big difference on that setting. It does sound more focused on the low end When I disengage the transformer, you hear more highs coming through, but it's still just like a complete destruction of your signal. I wonder if it would be more apparent on a lower gain setting. Transformer off. Let's try it on the neck pickup with the transformer on. Full dark. Transformer off. It's not as dramatic as I thought it would be, but I'm glad I did the experiment. It's definitely not like the Jaguar where that strangle circuit just completely changes the vibe and the mood of what's happening. But you can hear that it is EQ and guitar dynamic and guitar pickup output sensitive. Just something to keep in mind. Like, it's a vintage style fuzz. Like, this is the definition of a vintage style fuzz. When I try to imagine the sound of an early fuzz, like, this is what I imagine. I know a lot of people probably imagine fuzz faces and Octavias and things like that. But I travel more in the lane of fuzz brights and maestros and pep boxes and things like that. Nasty, gritty, primitive, primordial stuff, like I keep saying. And that's what this is. And it does a great job of doing that. Let's take a look at the guts. I want to see what's inside here. Some of you might want to see as well. So let's take a peek. I use these cell phone holder pads to hold pedals down when I'm doing demos. I learned that from Henning. Thank you, Henning, for all you've done. So as you can see, there's little slots on the back screws here, which should allow the bottom to just swing free. There it is. Super duper simple, low component count going on here. That's what you want to see in a vintage style fuzz. I know that these are not affordable pedals. You're paying for the mojo. You're paying for the fact that Lucy is hand making these and just nailing the details as far as the vintage aesthetic and assembly process goes, and using antique equipment and all that. So obviously this isn't going to be a fuzz for everyone in sound, in price, in style, etc., etc. But for those of you that chase the vintage, destroyed fuzz, authentic sort of thing, like, this is doing a great job. I've got a note here. Number 48, made by Lucy Rush. On the 19th month and the 3rd day of 2024. It's another Americanism. We do our dates differently over here in the colonies. I don't know why I said that. All right, so yeah, made March 19th, 2024, built for 60 cycle hum. Oh man. This feels special to me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it feels special to me. I've had a great time this video exploring just this nasty, rowdy, throwback style fuzz where so many of the details are just so completely nailed. And it's simple. It's dead simple. It does the thing. It's not going to be for everyone. A lot of people would not be able to handle this fuzz. They wouldn't know what to do with it. But I know what to do with it. And some of you know what to do with it. If you know what to do with it, then say it in the comments section. Say, I know what to do with that. I know exactly what to do with that fuzz. So anyways, huge thanks to Lucy and Rush Amps for sending out the Pepbox version 2. I have a feeling this is going to be in my collection for a very long time. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments, support us on Patreon, buy a shirt if you're naked, and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.